Hello everyone, the topic for today is GDP. Recently, we have seen that India's GDP projections for 2025 have sparkled political and economic debates. According to International Monetary Fund, India's GDP is expected to reach 4.2 billion, surpassing Japan's GDP, positioning India as the fourth largest economy after US, China, and Germany. And the government credits this growth to strong leadership and aims for India to become the third largest economy by 2028 and high income country by 2047, which is in line with the Viksit Bharat of 2047. So, how do we measure GDP, and do you think GDP as a reliable indicator for economic development? See, when it comes to GDP, well, it measures the economic output. It does not reflect the quality of life, health, education, or income distribution. And many advocate alternative indicators to better assess socio-economic achievements. But GDP remains a dominant metric in global and domestic discourse. Politicization of statistics further complicates the objective economic assessments. But how can we compare one country's GDP with other countries' GDP when we have different currencies in different currencies in different countries? So there are two main methods of conversion we use in general. One is market exchange rates and one is purchasing power parity. In market exchange rates, we simply convert the GDP using the current exchange rates. This is very volatile and this does not account for the difference in the purchasing power. Another is purchasing power parity. Here, it uses the exchange rates which equate the cost of a basket of goods across countries, which means you just take a basket of goods and compare the prices in one country with that of the other. This gives you purchasing power parity, which is a more accurate comparison of economic size. If we see India's GDP in both terms, using market exchange rates, India's GDP was ranked 5th in 2021, projected to be 4th now, like 2025, and 3rd in 2028. In PPP terms, India has been third largest economy since 2009, and there is no projected change in the ranking through 2030. But the government highlights here market exchange rate comparisons to align with political narratives. If we see the challenges with PPP, it overestimates GDP in developing countries because of low wages and lower prices compared to developed nations. So that the basket of goods which we measures will be lower in developing countries. Thus, the GDP in terms of PPP will be higher. We can say that this method can overestimate GDP. And India's informal sector and unpaid labor, particularly among women, contribute to that inflation of GDP in PPP terms. But if you see per capita GDP of India, it still remains low in 2024. Even though we say that India has now surpassed Japan and it's in the 4th position, if we compare the per capita GDP, it is very low. It ranks almost 144 at market exchange rates and 127th in PPP terms among 196 countries. So these are all the different methods of comparing the GDP with other countries. And if we take whether GDP as a good indicator of economic development or not, we can say that it does not necessarily translate to improved well-being of its citizens. For that, for a more comprehensive understanding, it requires examining a broader set of indicators which assess both the economic performance as well as social progress. Because the disparity between GDP size and living standards highlights the need for more holistic measures of development. From this, if we see for us the important topics for prelims, just go through the PYQs. First question, purchasing power parity. Exchange rates are calculated by comparing the prices of same basket of goods and services in different countries. Yes, we have seen that same basket of goods. This is true. In terms of PPP, India is 6th largest economy. No. So only one. Which of the following can aid in furthering the government's objective of inclusive growth? Promoting self-help groups, yes. Promoting MSMEs, yes. Implementing the Right to Education Act. Because everything comes under inclusive growth. Next, increase in absolute and per capita real GNP do not connote a higher level of economic development. If, higher level of economic, industrial output fails to keep, no. Agriculture, no. Poverty and unemployment, imports, the answer is C, poverty and unemployment. See you in the next video. Thank you.